Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday on How to Thursday. Before I start, today morning I had gone out. I'm a BNI member now, so I had gone out for a networking event. It was the awards function. Amazing, met some lovely people out there. I've just joined BNI recently, so it was really lovely to meet some amazing people. Some people I have met through Facebook, so they just seem so familiar because they do lives, they do the videos. So when I met them, I felt as if they know, I know them personally. So it was really lovely because I did feel there were quite a number of people in the room that I knew, which was great. So I just thought I'll share that before I start my how-to. So what are we discussing today? Okay, we're discussing on how to incorporate sustainable materials in your home interiors. Now, we all are hearing this about sustainability, green, eco-friendly, and everyone is aware of eco-friendly materials, exterior, what all things you can do. But there are many aspects, like I'll be talking both external and internal. Some will, of course, overlap. But there are many aspects you can pay attention for so that you can incorporate sustainable materials in your interiors as well. So what that does, when you have sustainable interior, you tend to have a sustainable lifestyle. Now, we all are thriving to make sustainability a priority because we do know the effects that's causing in the environment. So sustainability has been a priority, and most clients, when I do talk to them, this comes up quite a lot in the option because of what materials, when it comes to materials especially, whether we should go sustainable or, we should go for other quick products. Always my preference is for sustainable materials, but not every time that happens. So just thought I'll take you through some other things that you may have or may not have thought about. I just thought I'll let you know. Now, first of all, one of the important things, as we all know, is using sustainable materials in itself. For example, you're going to do your flooring. So, you do hardwood flooring, or when you consider your carpets, go for, sustainable materials, go for better environmental friendly products. So those things are natural. When we're thinking of stone, use natural stones. They are more sustainable because they are natural elements. They do not have much of toxics in it. We have heard recently news going on about toxins in some artificial stones, so we do know about it. So these are in general, when you talk external or internal, mainly using sustainable materials. Now, internally, another thing that you can pay attention is the paints that you use. You would have heard the term low VOC. Now, that is volatile organic compound. Now, what is that? That is the emission that the paint has, which goes into the air. So usually you say 0 or go for very low, which means you will not have as much of pollutant emittance into the air, which means what you're breathing is much more purer air. So it does affect your lifestyle. So these are minor changes. Even when we talk about materials, it's mainly when, harmful materials, when they're working on the materials, there are emissions, harmful emissions. Or even when materials are already installed, you do have harmful emissions. You might have to rework on them. So then you've got harmful emissions in the air. So when we talk about natural materials, we are trying to reduce these harmful emissions as much as possible. Another thing I always recommend is if you've got furniture that they are good piece and you think they last, I always recommend for repurposing and reusing the furniture. Many clients I've spoken to, they would have already brought a furniture at the start and now they've moved into a new house and they feel it will not fit into the new decor. There are quite few methods. You can upcycle them. You can repaint them. You can maybe add a bit of something. Say, for example, it's a couch. You can repaint it, maybe change the fabric. That is enough to have it in your new room, your new decor. So, the lifespan, that also affects interiors because you need to have a material that you can maximize the use, maximize its lifespan so that there is less going into the waste. So if you've got great products that you've already purchased, every time I start a project, I do ask the clients, even if they're moving into a new house, do you have any furniture that you would wish to take with you? Then we have a look at the furniture and we revamp it. So I had done another online consultation with one of my clients in Adelaide, and they did they had beautiful dining set, and they did have some other furniture, and they thought they had brought it when they were renting the space, but it was in such a good condition, but it wasn't fitting into their new home. Just after we had a chat, we decided we'll just do a repaint of it, and we painted it in the color scheme of the new house, and now it sits perfectly, and they're very happy. So we could actually save and increase the lifespan. Of course, when you say repurpose, reuse, there are other stores which have recycled products, repurposed products, which you can go, if you're interested, we can go and have a look at those products as well. So it is a way in which you can maximize the lifespan of any material that you use. When you can consider the interior, also when I talk of cabinetry and things like that, timeless design is quite important. That in itself is sustainable, because when you have a timeless design, you've made an allocation for your present moment and considered a couple of years in the future, say if it's a growing family. So the fact that you'll have to do another renovation in a couple of years' time is not in your mind, because it has been designed in a way it'll have an everlasting effect on the design. So that is the design. That is where spatial planning and design comes into being, so that the design is timeless and you can actually use it for a very long time. So other than materials, even your spatial planning comes in. Then when you talk about your window treatments, we have to consider, where your light falls. Do you have enough of light falling? Do you need blockout curtains? So that using proper sun blockout curtains helps to reduce the heat coming in your summers. So what that does, that will reduce the load on your heating or cooling system. So that indirectly, that helps being more energy efficient. Same in winter, you must have materials which is able to hold the warmth in the space, so that your heating, there is less load on the heating, which means it is energy efficient, which means there is less production of energy for heating. So you are able to sustain the warmth within the space by not overheating the space. So again, window treatment, one, of course, aesthetically it has to be appealing. Two, it has to be able to hold the heat or block out the heat depending on which rooms, which area it is. Three, the materials you use for window. Again, now when you talk about sustainable materials, organic, cotton, hemp, bamboo, these are all sustainable materials. I mean, most of us are familiar with these materials. Just like we talk about wearing these things, the same thing is applicable to the other fabrics you're using in the home. So wherever possible, try staying, where you can use these materials, because that increases the use of sustainable materials in your home, which is great for the environment. Now, I have always mentioned the importance of having indoor plants. Now, before I said for certain purposes, for visual, you can have your fake plants, but when you're considering sustainability, you have to think of actual indoor plants, because there are great plants. You have to make choice accordingly. There are great plants which help to purify your air. There are plants you can use for your bedroom. There are plants that you can use in your living space, and they help you purify the air. So again, that helps you by purifying the air within your space. It is helping you save more energy, and that is how your home becomes more sustainable. Then, like I said, heating and cooling, because all these materials put together is the load that comes on your heating or your cooling system. The moment you're able to reduce the load on your heating and cooling system, it directly affects your bill, and it is being more energy efficient. So saving you money in future, and of course being sustainable as well. Now again, conserving as much as possible, you're able to reuse your old furniture pieces, or just give it a revamp and use it again. Helps you in down the track. Now, sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes just to make sure I've not missed any points. Another thing, even when you consider you're selecting your appliances, we always, like these days, it is popular when you go and select appliances, water efficiency, energy efficiency, it's usually marked on the appliance. You can see the star rating that is given on the appliance. Now, most of them do have a high initial cost. Unfortunately, that's the case. But I'm guessing more and more people start using this. That will also drop down. But that means in the long run, you're able to save more water on a regular basis, which again, you're saving on your bills. Save more electricity, again saving on your bills, and indirectly that is being more sustainable. So you are going energy efficient as much as possible. Now, when we consider the decor, smaller items in the space, if you consider items that are locally made, handmade products, and which have less of chemicals in it, of course we all know they are more sustainable, because and then you're not considering so much of when you say shipping cost as well, that is all costing energy, because they're coming from another place, so you're paying for the shipping, there is transportation happening. So when you start thinking of it in the chain, there are a lot of steps that you can actually reduce, which helps to keep it more environment friendly on the overall. So having local made items, handmade item, your local artist, one, you're supporting local work, and two, you are getting energy efficient. Three, the materials that you use are locally made materials, so which will have less emissions and be better for your space. Now, and generally reduce and recycle. Now, when we talk about water also, we do know about recycling water. You do get equipments like most people do have in your flushing system. They do have the recycled water that's being used, or recycled water, or the water that most of the new builds, they do pay attention to collecting storm water. When you say storm water, it's the water you collect from your roof and during the rainy season. So you can use that for your landscape, or you can recycle that. Make sure that process is done. So these points are taken care even when you're doing your construction, but of course then it comes to your interior as well, because when you make your material selection, you have to make sure you've made a sufficient inquiry on what fitting will exactly match these recyclable water that you can use. So these are some tips. As I mentioned, some of them are applicable to a home in general. And then, of course, when you consider other materials using within your space, within your interiors, they do help you have a sustainable interior and a sustainable lifestyle. I hope you've enjoyed this session. Again, I'm letting you know I'm running a free webinar on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Anyone interested, please DM me with your email ID and I'll send you the link. Of course, if you're not able to join live, that's fine. But if you send me a DM with your email, I will be able to send you a replay and you can watch it whenever you've got time. I am trying to cover up some topics of design to make you understand. If you want to style your space by yourself, there are elements and principles of design that we have to follow. There's some psychology that is applied to different aspects. So I just want to cover each chapter, kind of give you each topic and guide you through why these are important and how you can assess your space so that you can decorate it yourself and try it is fun. If you try doing it yourself, that's fun in itself. So I just want to make it more fun, enjoyable for you, and take that stress off you. So please feel free to join me on the webinar or let me know and I'll send you the link. Again, I've got someone joining. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.